What is up, people? This is the Oracle. We are back online for another Amonkhet draft, and we've got a pretty interesting pick and pack here. Prepare Fight is secretly, or probably not so secretly, one of the best card in the set. This set is pretty aggressive, tempo oriented, and even if you don't really care a lot about the fight effect, and you're maybe just white, the +2/+2 untap lifelink effect is super strong, especially with a bunch of exert creature. That card is very good, and even though it's kind of double colored, it's very playable just in white, and I might just first pick it. The other options are basically Electrify and Final Reward, I believe, 2 solid removal. Sniper's fine, but not something you want to pick over good removal or a card like Prepare Fight, I think. I like Electrify slightly more than Final Reward, as it's cheaper, but I'm gonna go with Prepare Fight just because, again, even if you don't end up playing white-green specifically, but maybe just white, the effect is super strong. It's also great in white-green deck, which tends to have a lot of exert creature, and yeah, it's just a very good card. Here there's not a ton. I mean, in white, I'm not gonna pick a white card, they are all a little bit too weak, like Priest is not great, Seraph, fine in Sealed, a little bit too slow in draft, I think, Forsake the Worldly, medium. Hooded Brawler is probably the best card here, alongside Soul Stinger and Essence Scatter. Since I kind of have a green card already, I'm gonna pick the Brawler over the 2 other cards, but they're about the same power level, I would say. I'm not a big fan of Ronas Monument. I think it's fine, but I don't think it's better than a solid 3-drop like Brawler, so we'll just pick that. Okay, another Sniper, I guess. We could have gone these paths, but again, I don't believe Sniper was the right peak one, if anything. And we have 2 solid options in white, with Unwavering Initiate and Takrop Elite. And it's pretty close. I'm not entirely sure which one I like more. I think I like the Elite slightly more. I've been very impressed with that card. And I kind of like drafting white-green deck that are super heavy on exert creature. And I try to play a bunch of Jerry's Resolve, which is great in this deck. And Prepare Fight is obviously quite awesome too. I think we'll pick Elite. It's pretty close though, like both cards are great. Fanbearer, great. Among the best common in the set. In our color. Emberhorn Minotaur, pretty good too. There's another Monument. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Ronas Monument. I think it's fine. Like, when everything goes fine, it's a great card. But sometimes it's clunky. It's not a great top deck in the later game. Yeah, the only monument I really like a lot, and I would pick super highly, is the white one, or Ketra's Monument, that you can play non-white deck basically. I mean, you can play any monument in other color deck, but you know, they are slightly weaker, obviously. But this one, I don't know, I've had mitigated success with it. Like, sometimes again it's great, and sometimes it's just not doing a whole lot. In any case, we'll pick Fanbearer here. I don't think it's even if you love the monument, I don't think you should ever pick it over a Fanbearer when you are in white-green. Okay, as I said, I love Jerry's Resolve in white-green with a ton of exert creatures. I think it's a much better trick than Shadow Weakness, for example. It is not the best card here. Soul Stinger is, I believe, but I think we'll just go into white-green. Last couple drafts I've made, I actually stayed open quite a bit for quite a lot of time, and it ended up being fine. But here it looks like one of these easy drafts where you first pick a very good card in a color or a color combination, and this color combination ends up being open, and this is just great. Like, 6-pick Gus Walker is insane. This should never happen, by the way. Like, I don't know what people are doing, but if I see a Gus Walker going pick 2, 3, or even 4 pack 1, I will assume that people are not playing white and that it's going to be open, and I'm going to go into white. But 6th pick, it doesn't make any sense to me. And there's some other solid white and green cards left in the pack, so this is great for us. Crocodile of the Crossing, pick 7. With Warrior and Initiate still in the pack? Yeah, sure. Alright. This draft, this is one of these drafts that's going to be easy peasy, and you just end up with a great deck, and unless you really flawed or screwed badly, you just crush everyone. Like, Like, this is crazy. This is insane. Not a big fan of Mighty Leap. I'd rather have some more Jerry's Resolve, and Prepare Fight is much better, obviously. Still gonna pick it because there's not a lot of other things, but I don't really want to play it. I think I'd rather have Forsake the Worldly. Again, if I want more trick, I'd rather have some more Jerry's Resolve than Shed Weakness and whatnot. Cheetah, I'm already not thrilled about playing the first one. I might have to if I don't have enough 3-drop, but not thrilled. I'd rather have Forsake in my side, or even maybe in the main. Don't think we'll have many zombies, so let's pick another Forsake. Last Monument Wield. I might play it. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the card, but looks like we'll have a pretty aggressive base green deck, so if anything it should be decent here. And if some other people value that higher than I do, picking it also, is good for signal purpose. So right now I guess there's the Cheetah I'm not thrilled about, though it kind of works well with Monument, as you can get the +2/+2 at instant speed. But yeah, this is 9 very good playables. I guess Cheetah I like a little bit less, but everything else is pretty great. Jeez, 6-pick Gus Walker, 7-pick Crocodile Crossing. Yeah, sure. I don't know what people are drafting. I don't mind Watchful Naga. I think this is a deck in which this is going to be better than Colossopede or Doserve. I think it's clearly better than Doserve, but I think I like it even more than Colossopede here. Though going turn 3 Monument, turn 4 Colossopede is pretty sweet, but Watchful Naga is a great 3-drop. Again, works well with Jerry's Resolve and Prepare Fight, which is nice. I'd be happy to wheel Resolve. I'm not going to pick it here. I think I will end up with 1 or 2 Resolve. I mean 2 or 3 Resolve at the end of the draft without too much trouble. And this is, again, I think that card is just awesome in white-green aggro. Creator of Mysteries is the best card here, would be the first pick. And then I guess you have a couple solid creature, Entangler, Skirmisher, and Minotaur. Another Fanbearer. Yeah, sure. Don't mind that. Inchest Companion would be fine. It kind of works well with Exerter and when you have a couple tricks. I'm not the biggest fan, but it's fine. I think I would pick Binding Mummy over that, though. We have 2 Fanbearers. We might end up with a couple Embound creatures, so it probably would most likely be better, but in any case, Fanbearer is just better than 2 other options. Handcrop Champion, pretty sweet. I could pick Jerry's Resolve and try to wheel that, but if it doesn't wheel, I'm gonna be unhappy. And this has higher upside, like the card is just better in general. I'm just gonna go for that. And I think Jerry's Resolve is actually as much likely to wheel as Handcrop Champion. There's a final reward, I guess. Gale Strike's pretty good too, but things are shaping up pretty well here. Sparring Mummy is actually surprisingly good in deck with a bunch of Exerters. I'm not entirely sure we should pick that over Quarry Howler though, which is, I mean, 1 more power is pretty huge, and the effect is also potentially strong. I guess we only have a Crocodile here to work with that, but it's also slightly better with Rona's Monument as it is green. I'm gonna pick Howler, but I could imagine Mummy being slightly better if you really have a lot of Exerters, so it's not as... I think it's closer than it looks like. I mean, I do like Howler a lot, but Mummy would be pretty good here. So now we mostly need 2-drop. We have enough 4-drop. We are starting to have a decent amount of 3s and 1. So we want basically 2 drops if we can get these. I'm not going to pick those who serve and play that in my deck. I want aggressive 3-drop. This is not an aggressive 3-drop. We could play Cradle if the mana is good enough, and I think it will be. Or pick Stinging Shot for the sides or the main. I think I'm going to pick Stinging Shot. It's just a pretty good card to have around. I don't really like Impeccable Timing a lot in aggressive deck. Pouncing Cheetah is medium, but again works kind of well with Monument. Yeah, we might play it. Try to have some Hooded Brawlers and Watchful Naga and, better 3-drop overall, Unwavering Initiate and whatnot, but Cheetah is not the worst, and again, kind of plays well with Monument. But at this point, our main priority is to get some 2-drop, because if you want to be aggressive, you need some 2-drop. This is true in almost any set, any environment, whether it's constructed or limited. But will not be happy about my aggro deck if it ends up having only 1 or 2 2-drop. So do we pick Jeru's Resolve, which I definitely like more than Shed Weakness, and Anointer Priest, or do we pick Watcher of the Dead because we are worried about not getting enough 2-drop? It's kind of close because I really want something like 5 or 6 2-drop, and we are almost at the end of pack 2, and I only have 1. That being said, Jeru's Resolve is just awesome here. I'm gonna pick Resolve, get a bit greedy. I love that trick again in white-green. And hopefully we'll get some 2-drop at some point. Oh, no 2-drop for us here. Supply Caravan is not the worst. I think it's slightly underrated. In a deck like that, it's gonna be pretty much always a worth 4 power and 6 toughness, which for 5 mana is quite decent. I'm not really gonna play anything else anyway, but I mean, I'd rather have Colossopede, for example, but I'm fine with that. It's a decent 5-drop if I want one. Another Resolve. At this point I have enough Resolves. I will not play any more Resolve. And I just want as many 2-drop as I can get, basically. Binding Mummy, great. Very happy to wield that. I'd be happy to trade that for a cat, the 2/2 artifact, if we end up with not enough 2-drop, so... Yeah, I did not expect to wheel all the Jeru's Resolve, but... Huh, Sparring Mummy. Got kind of better since we picked Binding Mummy. Could play it. But 5 4-drop is pretty much the upper limit, I would say. I would not feel comfortable playing more than that. I'm happier with 4 in general. Could see playing 5 here, as this works again pretty well with, oh jeez, a Glorybringer. Damn. I don't want to pass that. I mean, this is a league. Though often you end up playing against someone from your pod around 1. If this was not the league, I would just pick Glorybringer, because this is the card you never want to face. And there's not a ton of very good thing, like Bitterblade Warrior is fine, but not super exciting. I never passed a Glorybringer or seen someone pass a Glorybringer. We cannot really pick it here, I believe, though. Especially since we've seen no red pack 1 and pack 2. Feels bad, man. I mean, the right pick is Bitterblade Warrior, but can I bring myself to do that pick? Yeah. Like, Glorybringer alone is better than all of our green cards, which is kinda sick when you think about it, but we will not end up with enough playable if we pick it. Sorry, this is most likely not the right pick, but I just cannot bring myself to pass that card ever. Even though it's not really it's not very rational, but I just can't. Hooded Roller, True Heart Duelist, about the same power level, but we need 2-drop more than 3-drop, so it's gonna be Duelist. Which, by the way, also plays pretty well with Binding Mummy. Ooh, Channeler's Initiate is lovely. I'd be happy to pick Trial of Strength and Wavering Initiate or Redcrop Spearmaster, but this is just great. I'm not gonna try splashing for that, by the way. I don't think I will, but... Winged Shepherd. Not a big fan, but we might play it. Damn, Glorybringer, though. Evan and Nurse. Nah, we're not gonna try to splash for Evan and Nurse and Glorybringer. And I'm pretty happy to pick another Binding Bummy. They kinda get better in multiples because, you know, they can trigger each other. Once you have two on the battlefield, any zombie becomes super threatening. It's fine to drop. Secret Cat. Do we want to play Secret Cat? Kinda got better since we picked two Mummy. Having some cheap Embound creatures works pretty well. So maybe, but yeah, it's not looking great. Chef at Monitor, Hooded Brawler. I think this is actually a deck in which Hooded Brawler is going to be better than Monitor, so I'm just going to pick that. Even though Monitor is slightly stronger in general. Another Brawler? Lovely. And another Monitor, I guess. Ooh, the Warrior Wheel. So now I don't even have to feel bad about picking the Glorybringer. Cool. Probably getting one Cheetah, if not both. And I don't actually like Wing Shepherd a whole lot. So this is probably gonna be the deck. That's a late Hepatra and a late Great Mao. I guess no one cares about -1 counter. I think in this deck Bouncing Cheetah is gonna be better than Great Mao though. So well, we'll just pick the rare. Why not? Okay, well this is a very good white-green aggro deck. We don't have a lot of free vol, but we have two fan bearers, so I don't think it's a big deal. Ooh, Red Crab Spear Master. It's gonna be better than Pouncing Cheetah, for sure. Especially with 3 Cherries Resolve. Cool, well, deck is sweet. We have a good curve, a bunch of synergies. Just seems efficient, very streamlined, powerful. Not a lot of free vol, but we are super aggressive with a lot of trick and 2 fan bearers, so I don't really think we actually need a lot of removal here. And yeah, that's gonna be the main deck. I don't think I'm gonna change anything. Glorybringer. Spidery Grasp. Interesting. Kinda does the same thing as Resolve. I think we actually, I was trying to think if I wanted to play that over Resolve, and actually I don't. I think Discussing One is huge, and the Prevent All damage is very similar to the +4 toughness. Now you don't get +2 power, but I think Jerry's Resolve is still better. Can we afford to play Cradle? It's greedy, but not like super greedy, I think. Yeah, why not? We don't have any double white or double green to cast. It's gonna be 8, 7, 1. Alright. White green aggro for you guys. And this is, again, this looks like, you know, my typical very solid white green aggro deck. Like, again, I think Resolve is amazing here. We have some Fanbearer, enough 2-drop, enough 3-drop, some of the better Exert creatures. It just looks very nice. So we'll see how it goes, but I hope you enjoyed the draft. Drop a like if it's the case. Thank you for watching, and see you for round uno.